Welcome to the Teen Translation Project, a podcast where each episode dives into a teenager's world, followed by a parent's reflection, with the hope that something meaningful stays with you. Hi, Nico. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being here. Before we start, I want to say a few things just for you. This conversation is not a test, it's not a debate. Um, or a conversation where you have to explain or defend anything. We are going to move through different parts of your life, different spaces you spend time in, and just talk about what those spaces feel like for you. We will stay focused on real moments and everyday experiences. We are not here to get into big public topics or controversial arguments. If anything feels uncomfortable, we can slow down, skip it, or move on. You are in control of the pace. Ready?
Ready.
Good. Okay, so let's go for the first set of questions. I want to speak about your day, what a day in your life looks like, and what your feelings are about that notion of a day. Okay. If I followed you around on a normal weekday, what would I see?
Well, I think if you followed me around on a weekday, obviously you start off with waking up 7 in the morning, 7:30. I get ready for school. And I think if you came with me in school, you would see me talking to my friends, paying attention in class, really focusing in class. And yeah, I just think you'd see what a normal teenage boy lives through every day.
Let's zoom in on a number of things that I'm sure you do every day, right? So, very basic thing, brushing your teeth, right? So you're brushing your teeth in the morning and you are in front of the mirror. Uh, what comes to mind? What are you thinking at that time in the morning?
I think it varies on the day. Some days I don't think anything at all. I'm just standing there. Other times I'm thinking, what's the time so I can manage my time and be ready for school, for the tram. And other times I'm other times I'm like, oh, like, nah, school or I have this class today. And, but usually I try to start off my day positively with good thoughts.
Can you tell me what your mood is as soon as you wake up?
I think it's usually neutral. Like, I'm not mad, I'm not annoyed, but I'm not like overly excited. Well, I mean, sometimes I am. Depends on what day of school. Actually, it really depends on the first class I have of the day in school, because I feel like that kind of dictates my mood for the rest of the day. So if it's a class I like, I'll be like excited and happy, and then if it's a class I maybe don't enjoy as much, I'll be less motivated to go.
So tell me more about that. What is that subject that gives you energy if you have it the first one in the morning?
Well, obviously PE, it's a fun class. Also, INS, so history, the unit that we're doing right now. Also quite enjoy that. English is also fun. MMP, which is a mind markets and power class, which I also enjoy. And biology, I also really enjoy.
Got it. What's the best part of the day?
I think the best part of the day is either, in my opinion, lunch, the class after lunch, or when I get home, or when I have football training, because each part of those times makes me happy, especially if I have a class I like after lunch, because lunch is over and I'm thinking, oh, now we have 2 80-minute lessons left of school, but I think, oh, but I have this class, so it's It's fine.
And the most draining part of the day?
Sorry.
The most draining part of the day.
The most draining part of the day? If I
Mhm.
have to be completely honest, it's probably when I have math. Uh, it's not a class I enjoy that much. I'm not very good at it. But I think it's more important to keep a positive attitude for that class because if I go in with the right mindset, then it makes things easier. And the most draining part of the day is also probably when I wake up on a day that I don't feel like waking up on because it's really hard to get through those. But it rarely happens. So
Tell me about the last thing that happened. Waking up without, the energy or the motivation to, go about the day.
what I do in those cases.
Or last time it happened.
Last time that happened, um, last time it happened was the day I was sick. Um, I was sick. I wasn't feeling well, and I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I don't feel well at all, and I have to go to school." And what happens is I don't know. I just wake up like grumpy, but I don't. That's why I like try to like isolate myself more if I'm grumpy, so that way I don't put my grumpiness out on others because then that just ruins their mood and it makes me even more angry. So usually I just do my normal morning routine and by the time I get to school it's usually gone.
I see. Um, are you someone who plans out your day, or do you just take things as they come?
I'm someone that typically plans out my day, so I plan what time I wake up at. I plan when I leave my house. So in the morning that's way I have time to do everything, change, brush my teeth, and then in school, depending if I have homework or if I have a summative, I usually plan to study for lunch. I just use that. And yeah, I like to have my day planned out so that way I have no unexpected surprises. But if, in case those do happen, I'm pretty good under pressure. Um, composure is actually my middle name, used in football as well. So yeah, I typically navigate pretty well through challenges.
Got it. And your planning of the day happens when? The night before, the day, the moment you wake up?
Yeah, well, I don't know, just every night I like to have 5 minutes before I go to sleep and just think, how everything's gonna go the next day. And I think that's good because when I go to bed, with a good secure feeling of what's gonna happen the next day. And it's also not that hard considering that every week is more or less the same. So I never expect anything super out of the ordinary.
Okay, good. I think this is a good segue, Nico, to shift over from your day to your bedroom. Let's talk a little bit about your bedroom.
Mhm.
Uh, can you describe your room for us?
Um, I actually don't like to use the word room. I prefer the vocabulary man cave or my sanctuary. Um,
Oh,
because my room is like a place I like to feel secure. I feel, I just feel at ease because when I'm in my room, I usually think of like relaxation. Well, and that it's actually divided to different quadrants. Like my bed, I think of as relaxation. My desk is, studying locked in. My beanbag is, it reminds me of my friends because I usually sit on there and I'm talking to my friends. And I mean, yeah, I think my room is like a random, normal teenagers have accessories. I've over here pictures, some paintings I drew. Probably explains why I didn't get such a good grade in art, but It's beside the point. But yeah, just normal room.
Good. What's the first thing that you notice when you walk into your room?
I think the first thing I notice probably a smell. But if I'm thinking in as in mind terms, I probably think of unwinding, especially after a long day. I like to, just relax. And that's why every time when I get home, I'm usually downstairs for a little bit when I get home. And after when I come upstairs to my room, I usually take, 10 minutes just to unwind, let all those, let all the bad things that happened that day just leave. And all the, and just take a recap of the day. And then after those 10 minutes, I, you know, get back to work, get study for the class I need to study. And then, yeah.
And what do you like the most about it?
What do I like most about as an unwinding, or what do I like most about my room?
About your room?
About my room. Um, what I like most about it is how it represents me, because in my room it holds everything like I hold dear. It kind of represents like who I am as a person, because here I have like stuff from my childhood, the paintings. Here I have a Barca flag, which is my favorite team, and up here I have different relics, different stuff that just it's me. I have my medals, and then over there I have a tree that is all my family members, and I have my books. So I just think it represents who I am, different parts of me, and how it all comes together to form my room.
And what do you like the least?
What do I like the least about my room? I don't think there's anything in particular that I don't really like about my room. Maybe that my desk is really messy, but I think that's more of a me problem. To be more organized. But yeah, to yeah, in short, I really like my room.
And is there one thing, if you had to choose one thing that matters you the most to you?
One thing that matters to me the most, I think if I could only choose one thing to keep in my room out of everything, I think it would either be this Barca flag right here or the family tree, because the Barca flag, it reminds me of home. It reminds me of Barcelona, which is a place I love to be in, my home. And um and it also represents my favorite football team, and like I love football. It's mostly all what I think about. And my family tree, um I think that it's really important to me, because it just reminds me of my family, and you know I thinking of my family makes me happy. So I just think it's a good tool to have.
You just mentioned Barcelona as a place that brings you memories and a place that you consider home. Tell me more about that. Have you ever lived in Barcelona?
Oh, well, I did live in Barcelona. I lived when I was born. I was born there, and then I moved to Madrid. But I don't necessarily think that being born in a place um makes it your home or not. I don't think that defies that. I think a home for me is where I feel most at ease, most welcomed, and I think that's Barcelona, especially considering that a lot of things in my life are revolved around Barcelona, and how what really made Barcelona for me be the place I consider home is when I first moved here. Someone asked me on the first day of school. My teacher asked me, "What is home for you?" And the first thought that popped up was Barcelona, and from there it's been Barcelona ever since.
What places, what cities have you and countries have you lived in?
Well, I was born in Barcelona in Spain. Then I moved to Madrid, but I don't remember anything because I was 2 years old over that period of time. And then I moved to the U.S. in Chicago, where I lived for 11 years. and now I live in Switzerland in Basel. And yeah.
Very nice. Uh, Going back to your room, how much control do you think you have over your room?
I think I have a lot of control over my room, and I also think that's really important because it's like it's my room, even though my parents have paid for the house. It's yeah, it's my room, and it's like a thing about privacy as well. So I think I have a lot of control, which is really important.
Got it. Does anyone ever come in without asking?
No, and I actually quite like that. Everyone's pretty used to knocking, except my brother Leo. It's a it's a thing we still have to work out between me and him, but it's not a huge deal. But yeah, I think and my parents are always knock, and yeah, I think that's important because sometimes we're up to no good. Message to my other teenagers watching this. So,
Got it. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
well, I have one older sister named Emma. She's 19 now. She's very old. She's in university. Then I have two younger brothers, Leo, who's 13, and Alex, who's 10. And I really care about my siblings, and I have a different relationship with each of them, which it's fun for me because I get a taste of everything. Like my sister, I usually talk about what I talk about, girls with her. I talk about like problems, and we have more grown up conversations. But Leo is like we like the same stuff. He plays football. I play football. We both support Barca, and we're more athletic. So, not saying my other brother Alex isn't athletic, but we like football, so we have that connection. But Alex, he brings out like kid in me. Um like we play Roblox together sometimes. We like to, just hang around together. We go on mini side quests together, and it's good to have that experience with all three of them.
Are they ever allowed in your room?
Yeah, I mean, for me, they're always allowed in my room. Like, if they ever need to talk or anything, they're always welcome inside. If we ever want to play something together, always. And if they ever need to ask for something, I'm always free.
Got it. What does your room feel like at night?
My room at night, um, I think I think it connects more to like the relaxation thing I said earlier. Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's really important because when I sleep, I feel really cozy and relaxed. So that helps a lot.
Is your mind louder or quieter in your room?
I think it depends because when I'm relaxing, I think it's quieter because I'm not really thinking about stuff. I'm just, unwinding. Like my goes to not think about anything. But when I'm doing work, my mind is louder to because it's thinking and yeah.
Got it. And what do you find in your room that you don't find anywhere else?
Something I find in my room. Probably like it's the one place I can be in where I can completely unwind and completely relax, and it's always gonna be like my retreat, my wellness retreat, you could say.
Nice. Okay, so we went through your day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You told us a little bit about your bedroom. Let's now talk a little bit about your head. Okay.
My head.
So yeah, when you are alone with your thoughts, where does your mind usually go?
When I'm alone with my thoughts, where does it usually go? I'm not a person that tends to overthink stuff, so I'm not usually thinking about any big problems, but it again, like, it depends, like, if I'm alone and I have a big summative coming up, I'm usually thinking about that, or when I'm with when something happened with my friends, I think about that, but, um, also, thinking about, like, the world, I like to think about, like, current dilemmas going on and, you know, trying to understand the full context of it, and yeah.
Are you more of an overthinker or more of a distract yourself person?
I think I'm more of a distract myself person because, like, again, I don't really tend to overthink things. Um, and I think that sometimes is a good attribute and sometimes it isn't. But yeah.
And can you remember a recent moment when your mind wouldn't switch off?
Well, yeah, the other day I was thinking about a girl, I was hanging out with and I had hung out with, and you know, I was getting like different thoughts because I was getting mixed signals, and like I couldn't relax because I was like, what if she likes me, what if she doesn't, and etc. And that in that time, I did overthink, but I think every guy when it comes to girls tend to overthink a little bit.
Got it. What were the first thoughts that showed up when you were overthinking and in this swirl in your head about this girl? What type of thoughts would come?
Well, the first thoughts that came to my head, uh, I don't know, like, well, what if she likes me? What if she doesn't? Um, do I text her? Do I not text her? Yeah, it's typical stuff.
And what's the thought process from when it comes to this deciding what to do about it?
Usually ask for advice. Um, Sometimes I don't make a good choice on the asking for advice because I tend to ask my friend who thinks he knows a lot about girls when he's not spent. Let's just say he's not spent the most time with girls. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen him talk to one. But he's a self-proclaimed girl guru. So, but sometimes he has good advice, so I go with the flow.
Nice. Nothing like self-esteem.
No.
I was gonna say, do you ever feel the need to keep yourself busy?
Um, I mean, I don't think so because I'm usually pretty busy. Well, I'm always doing something, and I never get that feeling to do something unless I'm being lazy. Unless I'm just like laying in my bed or something. I'm like, what am I doing? Like do something effective, do something that actually contributes to your life in a positive way instead of just laying around doing nothing.
Got it. And do you ever get mad?
Mad? Uh,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I'd be a human if I didn't get mad, but I think everyone gets mad at some point. It's pretty hard not to sometimes, and I mean, yeah, I do say I sometimes get mad. I just think it's important to know how to, rewind and turn that anger into positive.
How do you manage yourself and your that mad state?
Well, usually, if I'm mad at somebody, I just take some time to recollect my thoughts, and and usually I like just back away from them for a few minutes. It's hard to do that when somebody's stubborn. I don't think I've ever been considered a stubborn person myself. I think people would agree with me. But when someone's stubborn, they always try to have the last word, which is sometimes annoying. But I think in those situations, you just need to be the bigger person And to not be angry anymore, I just, take a deep breath, make sure you don't say anything you'll regret. You know, you're even though you're mad, it doesn't justify saying anything bad. So you just have to be calm.
What do you think others would say about you when you're mad?
Uh, well, others would say, I think it depends. I think if you ask my friends, maybe they would say I'm a bit different from the typical person I am. It might be the case. Everyone has their own opinion. Um, when when I'm mad to my parents, um, they usually make fun of me in a way, in a nice way, not a like to make me more mad way. Like I remember when I was younger, every morning when I woke up, I'd be really grumpy, and it got to a point where my mom started calling me bufado. And in Spanish, it's translation is buffalo. I don't really know where that comes from, but then again, like in another example, one day this was not me being mad, but one day I came downstairs after a nap, and obviously when you have a certain type of nap, your mind's foggy, your brain's not computing. And my parents asked me something, and I was looked at them with my mouth open and my eyes wide, and I was like, "What?" And my dad started comparing me to, I think it was Bob Marley or Ross or something. He starts singing the song. I don't know if it's a song, but he said, "Get up, stand up," as if he was smoking something. And I think those are effective ways to, because it's a funny joke, and like joke about it to now, like now this day, and it just turns into a joke. Which when I'm mad and someone like makes a joke like that, I usually start laughing, which immediately my madness goes away. So
Got it. Thank you for sharing all that and adding that color to my questions. One last question on the head space.
hmm
Have you ever gotten into a big argument with a friend, like a really big one that you would remember?
yeah, actually last week my friend was spending a lot of time with this girl, and their best friend, like, this is a sensitive topic for me, but um they're really good friends, and like I have no problem with that. Like you can be friends with whoever you want. But the thing was, in math, this guy, he just kept talking to her, and it got to a point where other people were saying he talks to her more than me. Which at that point I'm like, dude, you're my friend, In math, like we're doing math, right? But when I'm trying to work on a problem with you, why are you doing with her, And it made me mad, and I like talk to him about it. And this certain friend is very stubborn, very stubborn. You cannot, if you argue with him, no way you're gonna be right according to him. So it turned into a pretty heated argument. And after, I just talked with my other friend, and I was like, you know what? I was wrong. Well, he accepted at a level some degree of blame, you could say. And that was fine with me. So, I apologized, he apologized, and we went along with our day. And I also think that's something I really admire with guys in general. I don't know about girls, but guys, whenever we usually get mad at one of our friends, are really like really really mad or mad in general, it usually blows over in less than like a day, in less than an hour. That's always happened for me. And yeah, sometimes it can be viewed as weird because, let's say my friend made a really rude joke about me, and I was fine with it after like 10 minutes. I don't know. Guys are different, and we don't really care about that stuff. And when we're friends with somebody for a long time, We I don't think we would give that up for the world. So
Nice. Good. Let's move on and talk a little bit about school now. Okay.
mhm.
What does school feel like to you right now?
School, what it feels like to me, I mean, right now, I think it feels good. Um, it's going fine. Uh, I'm good with my friends. Everything's running out smoothly. I just think it's getting really, and I think it's getting a bit annoying because we have this thing in our school called personal projects, and it's really annoying because aside with all of our other classes, we have this huge thing that it's something we choose and we have to present on to like a whole grade and parents and everything. And especially with next year, how we're starting the IB, which is also really important. We have to choose classes. Yeah, things are starting to get fast paced and they're starting to move along. But then again, in the middle of the storm, there's always that calm presence, that calm feeling, and you know, pretty calm guy. So tend
Nice.
myself pretty well.
Nice. What parts of school feel the easiest?
Parts of school I feel the easiest, obviously, like the classes I'm good at. It feels pretty easy because I know my stuff, and especially if I enjoy it, it makes it even easier. And so, yeah, those times are the easiest in school.
So then I guess that hardest are the ones that are the subjects that are harder for you, etc.
Yeah, the harder the times that are hardest in school are probably when I have classes I'm not good at. Um, yeah, it's just difficult to do something you don't enjoy. I mean, I wouldn't say that's most of the case. I mean, for math, it's not that I don't enjoy it, it's just I'm not good at it. And I just think I just need to get better at it. But when you have a class like computer science, which I despise, I do not like it at all, and I'm not good at it either. It's hard, but it is what it is. So
You are saying that subjects like math or computer science, you don't love them, and also you're not good at them. What do you do in those instances? How do you manage not being good at something?
well, again, like math's not something I would say I don't like. It's just something I'm not good at. But for computer science, my dad tells me this. He's like, I mean, you're already stuck with it, so you should like at least try to be good at it. And it's really difficult to do that when it's something you really, really don't like computer science in this instance. But sometimes I feel like I'm not trying my hardest because of that. So I just think it's important to try your hardest no matter what. And if you do bad, but you gave your 100%, at least you can walk away with the fact, that you tried your hardest and it just wasn't meant to be.
And what are those subjects that you feel super good about?
Super good about. I mean, INS is a class I really enjoy. History, I love all that. Um, English again is a class I enjoy. I'm happy to be in. Biology is also a class I look forward to, and it makes it really easy because those classes I really like, and I'm pretty good at them. So everything moves along fine, and I always have a smile on my face whenever I have one of those classes. So
Do you like your school?
I actually really like my school because even though they have the IB, which I don't think it's something super. I mean, I think it's an efficient way of like teaching. But again, when I was raised in the American education system, which is easier compared to the international baccalaureate and MYP and everything. But my school, they really care about their students, and they always have opportunities for you to learn new stuff. They host biology trips. They host history trips. In fact, at the end of the year, there's a Berlin trip which I'm attending, and you go to Berlin for about a week, and you learn about World War II and about global politics, about modern day politics, and what's going on in the world right now. And that is all something I really enjoy talking about, and something I want to pursue in life. So it's gonna be really fun, especially with my friends. So very much looking forward to that.
That sounds like a really good, nice experience and opportunity for you guys, right?
hmm Especially since I'm not paying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would change of your school?
Anything I would change? Yeah. They have a football team, so each semester is 3 semesters. Each semester there's a different sport you can do, and I just feel like football should be a year-round sport instead of just at the start, just the first semester. Um, but in terms of education, I don't really think that there's anything that I would personally change. Um, I mean, I'd I would probably add like a few classes to appeal more to people that don't like this current class options. And yeah, but in general, the school's really good, and there's really something that I would change other than the football thing.
Are there any examples of the classes that you would add to the
Um,
curriculum?
I mean, I think I would add a cooking class because I would definitely do that because my parents don't really know this, but even though it may seem I don't like cooking, I think cooking with my friends is really fun. I do it in school, and cooking with them is the best. It's in PE. It's like a nutrition unit, and we only get to cook 3 times this year, and we're gonna come up on our third, I think, this week, and I'm looking forward to it because it's always fun. In fact, our very first dish, we created a rice, and my friend Finn decided it would be a good idea to not fully close the bottle cap on the spice. So what happens when you don't fully close it? Well, when you go to dump it, the entire thing comes out.
Hmm.
So when it was time to try our meal, let's just say that there's a lot of water involved. You would be surprised at how effective water is dealing spicy with spice, and it doesn't work at all. And unfortunately, there's no milk. So probably the worst 20 minutes I've spent in school in my entire life. And here I'm gonna shout him out. He's never allowed. We actually made a deal that in our next cooking class, which is on Tuesday, he's not allowed near the food. Never mind the spices. So he's in charge of bringing the ingredients and watching from a distance until it's time to clean up.
Got it.
hmm
Got it. He's grounded.
He is grounded.
What do you associate the school with in your mind? What's the first word that comes to mind?
What was associated my school with? I think enjoyment is the word I would use because being with my friends, it's really fun. And then like being classes, I used to not like school at all, and it was just because the school part of it was boring. But now, like I don't know, classes are fun. My friends are there, and I'm excited about my future. And yeah, I feel like every day is just more and more excitement to go to school, and it's like I got school, and and it's gotten to a point where in breaks and long breaks, like Christmas break, towards the end, I was like, bro, let me go back to school. And it's surprising because even though I really like school, sometimes it's true, everyone needs a break. And that's why like long breaks are good for unwind until it's too long and it just gets annoying.
I see. I understand. One last question on the school topic. When you have homework or a project to do, do you usually finish it right away, or do you wait until the last minute? How do you manage that process?
Um, well, usually I like to plan it over the course so I finish it 2 days before it's due because leaving things for the last minute is not good at all. And it can be very stressful when you do it. But, and then, I mean, doing it all at once is, I mean, it's effective because that way you get it out of your hand, out of the way. And, but then again, I don't think I could necessarily like do one thing for like really, really long. I just feel like I would be unfocused. So that's something, of course, I have to improve. But I think my way of like planning it out over a span of time and having it done a few days before it's due is generally good.
Got it. Okay, let's now talk about friends. And I know you already shared with us a few anecdotes and
Yeah.
stuff about friends. Let's go a
Mhm.
little bit deeper into that. So, first question about friends is who do you spend most of your time with? And we don't need names. It's more about who are they, where are they from, in what context do you spend time with them?
Well, each of my friends are from different places because that's the result of being in an international school, and everyone has like their own ideas. But even though everyone has like their own, their own beliefs, culture, and everything, we all share like the same sense of humor. And in yeah, and usually when we hang out, we usually go to city to like a main city. We usually grab a bite to eat, or we go to a football pitch and play football, and or we just walk around and talk. So it's pretty enjoyable because the best part is just to talk, which is if you hung out with me and my friends on a Saturday, you would find it very enjoyable as well.
And what makes your friends easy to be around with?
Well, I just feel like I can be myself around them, and that's because they all are a bit unhinged, you could say. Especially one of my friends named Balram. He is very funny, and I mean they're all like really open minded, and they're like we're all we all kind of like connect with each other. We all like our energy like bounces off each other, and yeah, and I think that also, and it also weirdly ties into a little bit of into football because you know our energy bounces all around each other, and we have like that chemistry. You could say our chemistry is a bit like prime Barca, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. Um, and I've actually been called the Pedri of the group. Like the unsung leader. He's not always in the spot. He's
Mhm.
not always known as the leader, but I dictate a lot.
And what about what makes someone exhausting?
Um, it depends on the topic. Um, but whenever we get into like a certain topic, I don't think anyone gets at a point where I'm like, just stop talking or I'm gonna slap you. I don't think it's ever gone to that, except with Max, the girl thing. That's the only time I really like. If you say one more word, you're gonna catch his hand. Um, but yeah, it's never really happened. And yeah, the only time I can think of is Max, with the girl, and maybe, yeah, no, that's really all the time.
And what happened in that situation that made the whole thing exhausting? What
Well,
was it, irrespective of Max or not Max?
Um, well, like I said, he's a bit stubborn, a bit. Um, he just kept blabbering on about how he was right, and it's exhausting because when you try to talk to someone you can't reason with, it's like, it's just hard, and usually you just end up leaving it, and then
Do you think he was feeling the same way about you?
I mean, I think some of the things I said, now that I look back on it, maybe weren't the most accurate, but, I don't really think you can feel that way about me considering like I said, I'm not the most I'm not really stubborn, but in that time, like, I was right. Most of what I said was right, and, I mean, if he felt the same way, I wouldn't be surprised, but he can't be talking, so he doesn't get he
Got it.
can't feel that way about me.
Got it. Okay, let's talk about um your relationships with boys and if they are different than relationships with girls. And if so, how are they different?
Um, well, I think it's well, with my friends, like, we usually say stuff that, can't be repeated on here, but, sometimes someone will say something that is slightly controversial, and, it's I mean, it's just being boys, like, we talk about stuff, we talk about girls sometimes, but, like, when I'm with girls that are my friends, I still yeah, we talk about, stuff, and they're they're more or less like us, but, like, I can't talk to them about the same thing I'll talk with boys about, so,
You cannot.
yeah, I cannot. I don't think
Can
they're
they?
can they talk to me with the same stuff they talk with girls about? Um, Based on what my knowledge is of what girls talk about, I would say, yeah. I don't think they talk about anything too, you know, weird. I mean, aside from like girl stuff, yeah, I don't ask about stuff like that. They don't tell me stuff like that because personally, I just don't want to know what a girl does. But I mean, I think it'd be easier. I mean, I'm not a girl, of course, but I think, in my opinion, it might be easier for a girl to talk to me to talk to a guy more about what girls talk about between each other than what a guy to talk to girls about what guys talk about.
How do you think one of your girl friends would describe you?
Would describe me. Um, I think let's say funny. I can come off as a pretty funny person in my opinion. Um, nice, nice is also and like understanding and um someone that is a really good listener because girls I'm closer to whenever they talk to me about stuff. I usually don't talk about my stuff and I just sit there and listen. And it's good to listen because then you find out stuff that you wouldn't have found out otherwise. So it's always good to have knowledge of different things going on. So,
Nice. That's a good insight.
hmm
Um, so is there a moment with a friend, whether it's boy or girl, up to you, that stuck with you because it represented something different. It was a different experience.
um, yeah, one time me and my friend Thomas, we were at like a park at like 10 at night, and um us boys we usually don't get into we don't get into deep stuff when we're with a big group because we never we never like our conversations never hover over those more in-depth topics. But with Thomas, we had a really deep talk that night, and it was different because it wasn't a conversation that we were laughing about and stuff, but more that we spoke to each other guy to guy, and yeah, it was good and it was different because it was nice to talk about like problems that we were both having with each other. But again, like I think I can have those conversations with any of my friends, and I just think it's based on more if I'm on one on one with them instead of being with the group that I'm usually with.
Yeah. Yeah. And in that situation conversation with Thomas. What happened before that? How did you guys get to that point where all of a sudden you're having a deep conversation?
Well, we were hanging out like near the park with like some people, and then after they left, like um we started talking about like the topic that like went to the deep conversation that we had. And
Yeah.
I think it's based on the mood and the vibe and like what was going on beforehand.
And do you wish, or would you wish that you would have more of those moments with your friends?
Um I mean, I don't really say I wouldn't really say yes because I don't really have any problems that I would want to talk to a friend about. But I mean, I guess yeah, because it's a little bit yeah, because it's always good to hear what my friend is truly thinking. So yeah, and yeah, a little bit yeah.
Who is your first stop when you wanna talk about something, when something is bothering you?
Um, Usually, if something's really bothering me, I usually talk to my parents about it because my parents have always been people I can like confide in, and it's either that or like my closer friends. Um, so yeah, usually my parents and and my friends.
Got it. And I don't, again, I don't need names, but the question is, do you have at this point a girl who is a really good friend at the level of what your boy friends are?
Oh, can you repeat that last part? Like yeah, a
Yeah,
girl that is I'm friends
same type
with.
of relationship that you have with your boy friends, but with a
Mhm.
girl.
I don't think I have like my group of close friends. I don't think I have any. There's not a single girl that I have like that level of closest to, but the closest would, but like a friend that's a girl that I'm pretty close with. We've talked about like sensitive topics together, and I mean I've been friends with her for a really long time. I don't talk to her necessarily like a lot, but but I mean we talk occasionally, and we've never really we've never really gone apart. So yeah.
Got it. Good. Okay, next stop is social gatherings, partying. Okay. How do you usually feel before going to a party?
Um, Excited because I mean I get to spend a night with my friends, and it's always really funny to see what happens at parties because at my age, people are usually experimenting. There's the occasional getting drunk. For some people, it's not really occasional, but all the time at parties. Smoking. There's vaping. There's weed. Making out, doing, stuff like that. I've never done that. I've never smoked. I've never drunk hard liquor, or liquor at all for that matter. I've never vaped, never done any of that. I never get drunk, so I'm always with my like some of my friends that are always like, like we party around, but we don't get drunk, and um, yeah, I think it's better. I like the experience more not being drunk at parties because you get to sit back and you remember everything that you see at the party. So, for example, if somebody that was really drunk did like something happen and they don't remember it, I remembered it. So, and it's also nice to see like people how they really are in different scenarios And that's also helped me make friend choices because for, I was friends with a guy that made poor decisions in parties over and over again, and since no one else could remember, but, like, I witnessed and I remember, it makes me think, "Do I really wanna be close with him?" And again, with, like, a girl, she made poor choices, do I really wanna be friends with her, you know?
You are making a very strong case not to experiment in parties. But so then my question is, do you think you will ever experiment, or you will ever get drunk, or what's your plan?
I mean, obviously, like, eventually I'll get, like, drunk at a party. Um, I mean, I don't really like drinking, like, again, I've never done it, so, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, but, when it does happen, I hope I did something fun because it better have been worth it to get drunk.
What do others tell you when they see you? Obviously, based on what you're saying, it seems like, or it sounds like you are having fun, you're engaging in the party, you're having fun there. It's a good experience for you, but you are not engaging in the, I guess, uh, typical things that a teenager would do, like the others do. So, what's the reaction to that?
Well, I mean, people, like, ask me, like, "Why don't you, like, why don't you drink? Why don't you, like, start like, why don't you, like, mingle with girls?" And, like but, like, I just don't think you need to drink and get drunk to have fun, and I don't think and, like, there's a point where I'm just watching people jumping around in a pit, everyone's jumping around together, sing songs, like, it's like a way to have fun, like, I've done that before as well. But, like, at some point, like, some people are just doing too much, and it just pisses me off sometimes because, like like, if a guy I don't even know how to explain it of something that happened to the last party I was at because I don't even know what was going on. But this dude was, like, chasing around these 2 girls, not in, like, a weird, creepy way, like, they were having fun or something, and I was like I was just thinking, like, "Dude, like, what are you doing? Like, lock in. Like, this cannot be something, yeah, you're having fun doing." But then again, like, I'm not one to judge, so, you do you. So I'm say.
Did you say anything to him?
No, but no, because, again, like, it's your choice, you do you, bro. If that's what having fun is for you, then go crazy. But again, like, I'm not the one to say anything about it. So,
And who do you usually stick with at a party, or do you just float around and talk to different people?
no, I usually stick with like I'm friends with a lot of people, but I usually stick with my closest friends because they're like me. They don't get drunk. They don't do weed or any of that. I'm really good friends with some people that do, but I'm closer friends with people that don't, and it's usually like 4 guys. So yeah, I usually just stick around with them, and it's fun because we talk about people and what they're doing. So yeah.
Are these big parties?
Yes. I mean, I would say they are, like, there's a lot of people, and, like, the noise is really loud, and, like, everyone's really hyped, and, it's yeah, I would say they're big parties. Not compared to, like a nightclub or something, but,
And do you think others expect you to behave differently?
no, and if they are, they're gonna be disappointed, because 'cause I'm not gonna change what I do at parties just because someone has expectations for me. They're gonna if they want me to party and get drunk, I'm sorry, you're gonna be disappointed.
And do you feel any peer pressure?
No, and not at all because yeah, I'm not gonna do something that's obviously stupid. My parents have taught me better than that. And like, of course, it's like not bad to like do the occasional cigarette or something like that. But again, it's not a habit I want to do. It's something I want to start doing. And again, I wouldn't say I'm a professional football player, but I've reached a level where you can't do this because it affects your performance. And you know, don't want to burst my own bubble, but when you've been invited by Barcelona to trial, and when you've played alongside the greats, like it's just you have to be locked in.
Should we warn the audience that that's a joke or is that real?
It's real. You can ask Lamine Yamal. He knows me. We've played around together.
Uh,
He asked me to play
got it.
actually.
Got it.
hmm
Listen, if you could plan the perfect get together for you and your friends, what would that look like?
Um, like a hangout, or because if I had to choose the best,
Get
like I would obviously choose like a trip, like a week long trip or something with my friends in a foreign place, because that would be so funny and that'd be so fun. And yeah, I would choose that.
where?
Where I probably would want to go to Barcelona, like show them around my city, and go to like a bar smash all together. But I think it'd be funnier if we went somewhere where no one knows anything, because it'd be really funny to see how we navigate and how we adapt to those different situations that different places hold. So if I had to choose something, I'd probably choose like New York City, something like that.
How many people are we talking about?
Um, Max like 6. If I had to choose the perfect number, like 4 or 5.
And what does a day of that trip look like?
Um, I think it involve a lot of getting lost. Especially considering when I had my haircut the other day, it took us 40 minutes to get to a place that said it was 10 minutes away from us. So I don't really know how that happened, because this picture is one guy has Google Maps and he's at the front trying to he's no one guy says, I have Google Maps, I'll lead us. He leads us to a completely wrong location, and the other guy says, okay, let me do it. Then there's a guy in the back yelling Barca chants in the middle of the street, and he's singing, babe, doing Barca chants, not really paying attention to anything. Um, that friend gets he's not on his phone or anything, but he somehow gets yelled at 2 times by residents and almost gets ran over about 4 times, I would say. And there's a friend next to him who's telling him to shut up, and eventually he gives up and joins in the chants as well. And then there's the last friend who he's really annoyed. He says, you guys are incompetent and you guys have the same brain power as a cockroach. Um, you guys are dysfunctional, and you have a peanut in your head. And he gets annoyed at the singing. He gets annoyed at the guy who doesn't know how to lead the group. So yeah, I think it's a fun experience, to say the least.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Adults. Okay. Tell me about the last time an adult said something that made you shut down.
The last time an adult said something that made me shut down, uh, probably when I did a slight mistake in a class, and he said, "You want me to contact your dad?" Because my dad has a tendency to tell my teachers that if something's wrong, to tell him immediately, because he's not strict or anything, but like I used to be misbehaved in class. Now I'm a lot more behaved. But since he says that, my teacher says, "Do you want me to tell your dad?" And I'm like, "Who do you think you are? If you have a problem, you tell me. You don't go to my dad. Like, we're not in middle school anymore. That doesn't scare me." So it's always a bit annoying. But again, if my teacher has like a problem with me, they can obviously take it out with my dad. But it is what it is.
Does that shut you down?
Yeah, I mean, it makes me annoyed. Sometimes it puts me in a bad mood because it's not only annoying but embarrassing. No one obviously wants to be in a class and then the teacher yells at you. Well, not yells, but just tells you in front of everyone, "You want me to tell your dad?" Like it's bro, like no need.
Got it.
This is
Is there one word or phrase that shuts you down almost automatically?
one word or phrase that shuts me down automatically.
Yeah.
Um, Probably from my parents when they say they're not mad, they're disappointed. Because I think that's the worst thing you can hear as a child to hear the disappointed. Because for some reason we've come to terms that saying that they're disappointed with you is worse than being mad. So it's never good to hear that, and it makes me really sad when I do hear that. But I don't hear it a lot, considering I'm a very good son. I like to think I am.
Got it.
So
What do adults so when they say or when you've heard that someone is disappointed in you, what do you think they mean?
I think they mean that you committed a mistake and they're not exactly happy with you about it. So it's I can't. I just you just have to learn from your mistake and move forward.
So do you think that they are saying they are disappointed because they are not happy with the mistake that you made?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah.
How would you describe uh, what you feel when you need to interact with adults?
What do I feel? It depends on the adult. Because let's say I'm speaking to somebody I know. I mean, I'm calm. It's fine. When I'm a teacher I like, I'm more like my teenager self instead of a modest self. And then when let's say I'm meeting my girlfriend's dad, let's just say that that's where diamonds are born. Um, because performing under pressure is something people have hard time struggling with, and when the lights are shining down on you, you have to be at your best performance. No slip ups.
So there's adults and adults, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think what I'm hearing is that the teacher as an adult is not you would not approach the interaction the same way as you would with your girlfriend's dad.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the teacher. If it's a teacher like I already know, or a teacher that is known to be more strict, I'll be more modest, more, may I please go to the toilet and thank you. Modest, polite. Obviously, to be polite with everyone, but if I'm with a teacher I've known for a while and I really like, I'm more like, yeah, I'm more like myself. I'm still polite and everything, but you know, like I might say, "Can I go get a snack?" or something.
Got it. And what about friends of your parents?
Oh, I always try to impress my friends' parents because if their parents like you, then you best believe you're gonna get invited to the house. And as someone whose house is the main hangout spot, the amount of baby photos that have been collected is genuinely shocking. And I've gotten sent a picture of my grandpa before, which was very shocking. I don't know how they obtained that photo. And I just think it's always important to impress your friends' parents because if they don't like you, you're not gonna get invited back again. And yeah, so I'm usually a good charmer, so it's not that hard. Like again, calm under pressure.
And what about your parents' friends?
Um, it also like that, it depends because if it's someone that I've known for a long time, it's always like one time we were family friends with this family in Spain in Barcelona, no, sorry, in Chicago when we lived there near Chicago, and they moved, we moved, and when we were living here one time, like we got surprised and they came, and it was nice to see him again because like he's really funny, and they live in Madrid now. He's really funny. He's a Madrid fan. I remember watching like Madrid Barca matches with him in Chicago, and like seeing him again was like fun. But it's like weird because after you don't see something for a long time, um, like I feel like they expect more out of you. Like this friend in particular, he asked me what the Wi-Fi password was, and he asked me if I knew the Wi-Fi password, and I was like, I'm sorry, I don't know the Wi-Fi password. I can help you, of course, but I don't know it off the top of my head. So, but I mean, he's still a really nice guy, and like I wouldn't mind seeing him again for sure.
Can you remember a time when an adult really understood you or said something that made you feel seen or heard?
Uh, um, maybe my grandpa over Christmas break. I want to say it's the last time, like a time I can remember. Um, like one time my brother was being really annoying, and my grandpa was like, you have to, I'm sorry you have to deal with this. And I'm like, bro, like, thank you. Like, my brothers are really nice and like, they're really good people, but when they're annoying, they're really annoying. And, my grandpa saying that, I'm like, someone that understands what, what happens in these situations. But yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Hmm.
Good. Okay. Let's talk now, Nico, about parents.
Hmm.
Good. So, I want to talk about parents, and I don't want to judge or evaluate anything. Just to understand what that space feels like for you. So, the first question, I guess, is when you think about the space that your parents represent, what does that feel like?
Um, the space with my parents, I think I would say that. What does it usually feel like? I think it feels safe in a way because, and safe and comfortable because when I'm with them, I feel, I feel safe. I feel at ease. I feel comfortable, and yeah, I think it's one of the times where I feel most at ease.
Got it. And can you give me one example of that safety that you feel?
Um, in what way? Like a feeling I have when I.
Yeah. So you said that the parents' space feels safe.
Mm-hmm.
Could you give me an example of a situation or something that felt that way?
Um. Well, an example, I mean, when like I think is whenever I'm like hurt, um when I'm with them, it just makes me feel safe. So, and it was past experiences where they're always there for me. So that's what I define as safe.
Got it.
Hmm.
And what do you wish your parents understood better about you?
Um, what I wish I understood more about me.
More
Um,
more or better?
better. Mm, I think that I'm more responsible. That I seen because sometimes I feel like as they don't think I'm very responsible, and um I feel like I am like at a reasonable level responsible, and I just want to be like shown the trust to be responsible. So
Got it. What do you feel you actually get from them, from your parents most of the time?
what do I get from parents most of the time? Um, well, I think I get different, I get different aspects from and attributes from each of them. So I feel like my dad is more I think I get more like my discipline, my hard work from my dad. Seeing that he's he works, he's um athletic, and he's always been very disciplined and always pushes me to like study and stuff like that. And from my mom, I feel like I get the open-mindedness because my mom is very open-minded. So, yeah, I also feel that from my mom, I get like the organization because my mom is very organized. So,
Good.
yeah.
And is there something that they do that makes things harder for you, even if what they do is well intended?
I don't really think that there's anything they do that makes things harder for me. Um, yeah, I don't think there really is anything that they do
Got
that
it.
makes it hard for me.
Yeah, that's fine. And is there anything that they say or do that shuts you down?
Anything that that they see or do,
Say or do.
um, say or do, anything that they say or do. Um, Sometimes whenever I'm fighting with my brother and they take my brother's side over something that I'm right in. For example, an argument we had over the PlayStation a couple weeks ago, I got yelled at because my parents thought my brother was right when in fact he wasn't. I felt very shut down, and I didn't want to talk to them because I knew I was right, and I think they knew that as well, but they just weren't in the mood to deal with it, and that made me angry because like if you're right, you should be told that you should be helped, you should be told, and especially when your sibling or someone that you're fighting against can be like challenging to talk to. So yeah.
Got it. Uh, do you feel more do you feel more seen or more managed by your parents?
What do you mean by like seen and managed?
Do you feel they are observing and trying to uh, be in the moment with you, and or do you think that they are very uh, invasive in how they educate you?
I think it's a good healthy combination of both because I do think that they they yeah, they say and observe, and they teach you things along the way, but then again for different things they take the more hands-on approach, and I think they make a very good combination of both.
And would you mind giving me an example of when do they take more of a hands-on approach?
Well, for example, growing up, you start to learn new things, you start to do new stuff, So for example, a hands-on approach that they do is the more I grow up, the more chores they teach me and make me do. So that's definitely more hands-on approach.
Got
So
it. And can you tell me a moment where you really felt um, seen or fully understood by your parents?
oh, could you repeat that last part if they were that last question, please?
If you can think of a moment where you felt really seen or understood by your parents.
Um, well, when I got a bad grade in math, they know that I'm putting in the effort and they know that I want to improve in it and that it's disappointing for me to get a low grade. So, there I felt really understood because they know I want to strive to be better. So that was really good from them and it made me feel more, yeah, it made me feel seen.
If and when your parents um, listen to this, what is the one thing you would want them to understand better about you?
One thing I want them to understand better about me,
Yeah.
well, like what I said before of more being responsible. I feel like I am more responsible than they make me out to be, and I think that's something that they could work on instead of because I feel like they don't trust me as much as they trust my other siblings. So it would be great if I could be trusted more. Yeah.
How does that feel? Uh, what you just said, that not being trusted as much as your siblings.
Well, I feel like they just confide more in my siblings and they trust them more than me, as in, they let them have more freedom in certain aspects and just in general compared to myself. So
And why do you think that is?
why do I think that is? Maybe maybe past events that have occurred, but you know, in life, people always make mistakes, and it's just how you focus on learning from them. And I think from the mistakes I've made, I've learned pretty well from them, and I always seem like I come at them again. But I just don't think that they've seen that they believe that.
Got it. Okay. Shall we move on to the next one? The next one is your phone.
Hmm.
The phone. Okay. How much time do you spend on your phone?
I say around each day, maybe, let's see, because I go to school, I don't use it in school. After school, maybe around like 2 to 3 hours a day, I'd say.
Doing what? What do you do?
Usually I go on Snapchat, talk with friends. Usually I call people. Sometimes, just watch videos or a TV show. So yeah, nothing out of the ordinary.
Do you talk to people over the phone or do you text?
I prefer calling, but I mean, yeah, like obviously I text people. I prefer to call. So most times we call you.
It's only audio or are you guys seeing each other?
Uh, could you repeat that, please?
It's only audio, only talking, or are you guys seeing each other?
Uh, there's some friends that like turn on their camera. But yeah, it's usually just audio.
When you do homework, are you on your own or do
Yeah,
you
I'm usually on my own. Unless, I have a question and there's a friend who's in my class, so I usually call them privately and we talk about the class.
How do you feel after spending a good amount of time on your phone?
How do I feel?
Mhm.
How, sometimes I've spent an excessive amount, like too much. I just think back and I just think like holy wasted time. Like I could have done something useful. And it makes me feel guilty about myself. But after, usually I don't really think much of it. Um, but like if I was watching a TV show, I usually think after leaving my phone like, "Ooh, I wonder what happens next." But yeah, I usually don't really feel anything after.
What TV show are you watching now?
Well, yeah, it's funny you should ask that because I finally got Disney Plus again because after a long feud with my dad about this, he's finally agreed to do it in exchange for me doing CrossFit. Um, CrossFit, CrossFit is fun at times. Um, it's not bad. I mean, I would like it's fine. Like I'd do it. I don't think waking up at 11 on a Saturday was the best choice of CrossFit, especially when you did a class with other adults. But and it's especially harder after you've returned from injury. Like, I just came back from a knee injury. I was out around 4 months, and you know, I remember when I got told at the hospital that I could return to training again. I'm pretty sure I heard the bells of the town ringing. Um, I don't know if anyone in the audience knows Fabrizio Romano, but he posted a legend of the game has returned after I came back from injury. Um, but yeah, so right now, since I've got Disney Plus and it has like everything, I watched Family Guy again and I really like it because it's very very funny. So yeah, I've been watching that.
Family Guy. Are you a Family Guy?
Yeah, I mean, I really like my family. I like spending time with them. So I would say yes, I am. And especially when I have children, I can't wait to have children, especially a son. Um, I mean, obviously, I'd be like so over the top having a daughter. Like, in fact, I do want to have a daughter. Um, but like a son, like there was me, there was Pedri, and then there's gonna be my son. So it ties into it.
Got it.
Circle of life.
It's the evolution.
Yeah.
Got it. What does the phone represent to you?
The what?
The phone.
The phone. What does it represent? I think it represents friends and family because the I usually the most amount of time I spend on my phone is talking to friends and family. And yeah, friends and family, and occasionally like an escape. Like if I'm ever feeling like sad or down, like watching a show usually like sometimes helps.
And do you have any off-screen pastimes?
Off screen pastimes? As in what way?
Hobbies? Anything you like to do outside of your phone?
Oh, I mean I love to play football. I love to watch football. Um I like to read. My parents don't believe I read a lot, but I like reading a lot. I used to love it, like read a lot more than it seems, but now I still read. Um,
Why are you reading less now?
I mean, I wouldn't say read. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I feel like more. I feel like now I spend more time on my phone than I did before, when I used to read a lot more, which is a problem, of course. But like, I still read a good amount now. And when my parents watch this after, they're probably gonna say cap. And do you know when they do say cap, it's not cap.
How does it feel to say that you used to read more and now you spend more time on the phone?
Um, I just think it's like part of growing up. I think because obviously when I read a lot more, I didn't have a phone, and now I do. So it's obviously something I want to improve. Like I want to read more, maybe more than I'm on my phone. But then again, it also makes like helps me realize that I've grown up. So one step closer.
In your view,
Yeah.
finish your
Oh
thought.
no, I was just say one because I'm growing up, so one step closer to becoming a professional football player.
Got it.
Yeah.
One, I was gonna say what percentage do you think of your time on the phone you spend learning something?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Of all the time that you use your phone,
Mm-hmm.
what percentage of time do you think you're learning something?
Um, I actually think like a solid 40% because
And what do you learn?
well, I mean, I usually learn because on my phone, it's not only like like to talk to my friends and watch, random videos. I also like read the news on it. On the videos I watch, I follow a lot of like people that talk about the news and talk about current world dilemmas. And I also follow like historians, talk about history. I even get like some science videos, some biology, which is also really, really it's that's nice to see. And but if I had to choose like the majority of things I watch, definitely football videos. And yeah, and but like I learned everything about football on my phone. So
How does it feel when you put your phone down?
how does it feel? I I I don't know. It feels like putting down a phone. I don't really feel anything.
Has it ever happened that an adult or your parents have told you to put the phone away?
Yeah, sometimes when I'm using it when I'm with my family, they tell me to put it away. And yeah,
And how does it feel?
um, like it feels a bit annoying, but again, like it's reasonable, so I just comply and put away my phone.
Got it. Good. Let's talk about energy and stress. Let me ask you first on that one. What's your favorite way to express yourself?
My favorite way to express myself,
Mhm.
probably through my sense of humor
Mhm.
because I feel like I'm a bit. I'm not saying I'm a funny person again, like I said before, and I think I have the ability to make other people laugh. So, and I can make people my age laugh. I can make people younger than me laugh. I can make adults laugh. So, yeah.
If I ask your friends, would they confirm that?
Would they say that I'm a funny person?
Mhm.
Yeah. Most definitely. Actually, I think they would completely agree with me.
Got it. What drains your energy the most?
Um, Probably math. So school, I drains my energy a lot, and I mean that's like a thing that's always going to be a drain, like an energy drainer for school and people that work that have jobs. That also is an energy drainer. So I just think it's always going to be like that. And you can't really do anything to change it. And like it doesn't matter how much you enjoy it, it's always going to drain your energy.
And how do you gain energy back?
Sleeping. I really enjoy sleeping. So and what that helps me get back my energy, and yeah, being with my family also helps me get back energy. So
What time do you go to bed typically?
typically, I go to bed from 10 to 11. So I always get I get minimum 8 hours of sleep every night, and yeah, sometimes I get more. And I actually want to make it my goal to get more like 9 hours of sleep. So I'm gonna start going to bed at like 10 more, 10:30. So hopefully we can begin
You
that
wake up
tonight.
what time do you wake up?
On a school day, 7:10. On the weekend, like 10.
What time do you go to bed on the weekends?
Uh, 12 or 1.
How do you spend your time on the weekends?
Um, I usually spend time with friends. Well, it's divided. Friday night, I play video games with my friends. And I hang out with them after school. Then I hang out with them after school, and I go home, play video games with them, or I just watch a show. Then, Saturday I hang out with them as well, and then at night I also play video games with them, or watch a show. And then on Sundays, usually when I study, I never hang out with friends on Sunday. I always study. And then Sunday I play a little bit, but usually it's just studying day. It's school day.
How got it. How do you know when you're stressed?
When it's something that I'm constantly thinking about, and like constantly thinking about stuff, it's not something like it's not particularly bad, but I know I'm stressed when it's like eating away at me in a way, and makes me tense, and nervous.
And how do you relieve that feeling?
Usually by solving the problem, solving whatever is making me stressed. And yeah,
And if you cannot solve it,
if I can't solve it, for example, like if there's a test and I can't immediately solve the stress I get from the test, then I just study as much as I can, because that makes it go away. The stress go away, makes it go away, because at least I can tell myself that I'm putting in the effort.
and when you are stressed, more from the perspective of, I don't know, something that went wrong with a friend, something that went wrong with a parent.
Uh,
How do you manage that?
I don't think I'm ever stressed by that. The most stress I get would be from academics, and even then, I don't have a lot of stress because I'm usually on top of things.
Got it. Um, do you prefer to be alone or with people when you're stressed?
Um, when I'm stressed, with people, because when I'm alone, like those stressful thoughts like spiral, and it makes me feel like it makes me feel like tense and stuff like that. But when I'm with people, like I can talk about it, so it's always better.
And if you don't talk about it, do you think people can tell that you're stressed?
Yeah, I think someone could tell like what's on my mind.
How so?
I mean, I think everyone acts different whenever they're stressed. So, if I'm not making jokes as much, or I'm not acting like myself, be like, "Yo, like, are you good? Is anything wrong?" So, yeah.
Got it.
hmm
And the last time you felt stressed, what was that time?
Last time I felt stressed, probably when I had a science summative, because it was after Christmas break, so I was really stressed about it because I hadn't done science in like 3 weeks. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was stressful.
What did you do the evening before that test? Do you
Um,
remember?
I mean, obviously I studied, but I prayed, and then uh, I was like, you know what? No matter what happens, just go in there and do your hardest, and try your best.
Why were you particularly stressed about that one and not about other tests?
Well, because for in our school, the way things work is at the half of the year, we switch. So from science, I switched to biology. So I was in chemistry. Now I'm in biology, and I enjoy biology a lot more than chem. And I was more stressed because it was the end of a unit, like chemistry test. So everything that we had been doing over the course of like 4 months. So yeah, it was something to be stressed of about.
Got it. Do you can you tell when others are stressed?
Yeah. I think I'm really good at reading people's emotions. So I can always feel like something, I can always tell when something's wrong with someone and talk about it with them.
How do you approach the that someone if you think that they are stressed?
I usually say like, oh, you seem off. Is there anything wrong? Like, do you want to talk about it? And then if they say like, no, they don't want to talk about it, I'm like, I'm always here for you if you need anything. And if you want to talk about it, yeah.
Got it. Let's move on now. I want to talk about I want to yeah, talk about mental health. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I know this is a very relevant topic in this in the world we live in, and more particularly at your age, right? So I wanted to ask, do you think about mental health at all?
Actually, I do quite a little bit, not personally because I suffer from it, but because I've always felt that it was a very serious topic, especially when people, close people around me have suffered it. And even I, like in a period of time, have not from serious, but I've always in that time I was like, worrying about stuff. So, and I feel as well that mental health, and I've always felt that mental health in men's always been a bit more disregarded than women's mental health because everyone just assumes that men are like strong and can't, show emotion and they can never be dealing with problems, but that's not the case, and everyone deals with their own issues. And I just think it's important that that everyone is looks out for each other.
And is mental health something you talk about with in your friends group regularly?
Um, it depends because usually my friends were joking around about stuff, but mental health is never something that we've joked around with, and um, I usually don't talk about it with them. Usually, if we're in like a deep, serious conversation and that's brought up, but yeah, we don't really talk about that.
Have you ever had any or a friend, uh, either boy or girl, coming to you to share any mental health issues?
Not while they were suffering through it, but after, like a time after they were suffering through it, yeah, they have. And I mean, yeah, I've never really had a friend, come to me and say like you're struggling mentally. So,
And is there anything you would have done differently so that that friend would have shared how he or she was feeling while he or she was feeling it?
yeah, I feel like I would be more open towards them and make them feel more, just make them, because obviously they're already feeling included, but just make them feel more included, more at ease, more comfortable around me, and just have the sensation that they can tell me whatever's on their mind.
So when things feel mentally heavy for you,
Mm-hmm.
what do you do? How do you cope with that mental heaviness?
Um, Well, usually I just take some time to think. So whatever is like causing me stress or mentally heavy, like step away from it for a little bit of time and just, think. Usually I like to be around people when I'm mentally heavy. So and that always helps because being around people is always a good remedy.
And can you think of a moment um, when you didn't say what you were feeling?
Um, maybe, oh yeah, last year there's a little thing going on at school that I was involved with in, and I didn't really talk about it to anyone. Uh, and it was a really hard time for me. So yeah.
What's your who is your go to? Uh, what's your go to space when you feel that you want to share something that is going on in your mind? Is it a friend? Is it a
Usually,
parent?
yeah, usually it's my parents are always people I've always talked to about things, and they know a lot about my life, and I trust them a lot. So they're always my number one go-to person because I always hear very good advice, and they always know what to say. So
Um, and do you think is there something that people misunderstand about teenage mental health?
I feel like people downplay teenage mental health because I feel like people don't think it's as serious as an adult's mental health issues. But I believe that all mental health is equally as bad, and no matter what it's being caused by, everyone needs to help each other always and be there for each other. And to never downplay someone's mental health issues because that just makes them feel even worse. So, yeah.
And what makes in the event that you have something to share or feeling something that you want to help with, what makes someone safe to speak with?
Could you repeat that last part?
Yeah. So whenever you feel that you want to speak with someone, uh, what makes that someone safe to speak with?
I think it just depends on how close I am to them, how much I trust them, and those things that make me feel secure with them, it builds up from what I've done with them, how much I talk to them, and yeah, how much I trust them. So yeah.
And what is that trust based on? When you trust someone, what is trust based on in your mind?
Trust I feel like is based on um feel like loyalty for me, and loyalty I mean as in how long they've been by my side, how long I've known them, how long we've been friends. And loyalty is actually a really important virtue for me because it's always been something I've held close to heart and something I've always respected. And I'm very loyal, and I would never willingly betray a friend. Well, never betray a friend or parent or family member. If I would never betray them, if they would never betray me. So
Got it. Thank you, Nico. One last question. Um, if you could give one piece of advice to someone your age about taking care of their mind, what would it be?
Well, I would say you might not, you might feel that you can't talk about it with your parents, but I think it's the most important thing. Parents are amazing. Parents, they've sacrificed so much for you. They've literally made you, and they would suffer more than you would knowing that you're suffering. So, just talk to them, and they're the number one people you can really confide in. So if you're ever feeling, down or struggling with something, just talk to your parents and everything will be all right.
Let's talk about change, the concept of change, okay?
Mhm.
Do you feel different today than a year ago?
Yeah, I do, because I think I've learned a lot in a year. I've grown up a lot in a year, and I mean, I'm a different person now. So yeah, I do feel different.
What's changed?
Well, I mean, different, like event, like, well, friends have changed, stuff has happened, um, and I've grown up a lot in matters of physically and mentally. So yeah.
And your mental growth, give me one example of what that change looked like.
Well, I mean, a year ago, I don't think I was as understanding as I am now. I don't think I think now I'm a lot more understanding. I'm less of a talker, more of a listener now. I care more about people's feelings, and I manage my emotions a lot better now. So
Nice. um what's one thing about you that has stayed the same?
um one thing about me has stayed the same. I think really the person I am, because even though I have changed, I still haven't changed completely. There's always going to be remnants of the person I truly am. And I'm not someone to like change who I am for people. So I think there's always going to be parts of me that stay the same.
This is the probably second or third time that I hear you saying that you're not going to change the way you are based on what others expect, on pressure that you feel or
Mhm.
receive from others. Why is that
Well, I mean,
so important to you?
I just think it's important because I've seen friends make dumb decisions because they've been pressured by others to do so. And it's not only that, like, people, like, I don't care about what people, like, obviously, I take feedback from people. Like, I like listening and, comments to, help myself improve in any way. But I don't really, yeah, like, again, like, it's just absurd to care about what people think about you. I mean, it's not absurd, but I think it's more important to love yourself before and only care about your opinion. I mean, not only your opinion, but like you know what I mean.
Got it. When you think about things changing in your life,
Hmm.
uh, does it excite you? Does it worry you? How do you process change?
In life, I'm pretty good with change. I mean, I just adapt to my setting to this situation. So I've always been a kind of go with the flow kind of guy.
Do you worry about future changes in yourself, from a physical perspective, from a personality perspective?
Not really. I'm not really too worried about that. The only thing that I'm a little bit worried about is like my future, like school and everything, like exams and for 12th grade and everything. But I'm not super stressed about that. And I think that by the time those come around, I'll be fully prepared and ready to give my all.
Are you excited about change?
I think I'm excited to go out into like the world and kind of become my own person. Um, yeah, I'm just excited to see where life takes me. It's like,
Is there something? Go ahead.
oh, sorry, that like one question I think about for my future is, you know, what age will I win my first Champions League? When will I win my first Ballon d'Or? You know, and when now is my first professional contract. So it's all questions we want answers to, and in time we'll receive them.
Got it.
Mhm.
I hear you. I hear you. One last question on change. How do you actually not how, but do you remember something that has changed in you or in your environment that was a good change for you? That was a good experience of change.
I think friends because like over the a year, like I started last year, like my close, I've stayed friends with like everyone I know, but my very close friends have changed. I think it's been a lot better for me as my for my growth as a human. Because I surrounded myself with people that I think are better. Well, not necessarily better people, but people that are more like me. So I think that was really important.
What that what does that mean? More like me.
Well,
How do you define that?
again, it's like people that don't care what others think about them. You know, people that we share the same interests and we have personalities that match and yeah, we like again like we have the chemistry.
Okay, let's talk about uh, the present.
Mhm.
How do you feel right now?
I feel pretty happy right now. I'm actually wondering what's for dinner tonight. So
You're hungry.
yeah, just a little bit. And I've been wanting to refill this water bottle for I think the last half hour, but haven't got to that yet.
Have you ever felt unhappy in your life?
I think everyone's felt unhappy in their life at some point, and you know, again, like that's everyone. Yeah, like again, everyone's felt unhappy. And I think it's important to like know when you're unhappy because I don't think you should force yourself to be happy because just because things are perfect doesn't mean you need to be happy. Like you don't need to have that nagging feeling to be happy. So yeah.
What does unhappiness look like versus happiness? How are they different?
Well, unhappiness is, you know, like you're something's off. You're not happy about it. And you're not really enjoying the moment, but compared to happiness, like you're in the moment, you're enjoying it, and you know, it's just it's a really good feeling.
And when you say something is off, is you mean something is off inside you or something is off in your environment?
I think it can be both. Like something's wrong with yourself, so like your own experience with whatever's going on with you. But then again, like something could be wrong with like something happened with your friend and something happened in your setting. So I think it varies on the situation.
Is there something we didn't talk about that you would like to talk about?
Um, no, not really. No.
Nothing that I didn't bring up that you would like to bring up?
Um, no, I don't really think so. But I mean, I think personally that mental health is a big topic that I would have wanted to, maybe talk about. It's a sensitive topic, so obviously, but I mean, I'm just gonna say a few words that always be there for the people around you. And, if you're ever feeling unhappy, talk about it and don't keep your feelings bottled up. And, everyone can deal with mental health, but especially to like guys who all like feel the need to they feel like they can't talk about their emotions. It's always better to talk about it than just let it eat you away. So talk talk to someone.
Thank you for saying that, Nico.
Hmm.
Hopefully, people will appreciate that. Um, what's something you really care about?
Something I really care about. I really care about like the people around me, because people, your closest friends, are the ones that your closest and your family members are all the people that form the human you are. So I think it's just really important to base yourself around people that you can be yourself with, that you enjoy being with, and again, connecting to the mental health, people that you can talk to something about. So,
Imagine yourself in a few years from now. What's something you hope will be part of your life?
something part of my life in a few years. Well, I hope that but in a few years, I hope that that I'm happy in life. That something I have. Yeah, I hope I'm happy, and that especially I have a career that I enjoy.
When you say something that I'm happy with, ha- what criteria need to be met so that you're happy?
Well, I mean, I just hope I'm still close to the people I'm close with now, and I hope that um I hope that I can I can be changed. Like I can. I'm just in general, I'm just happy.
What's one thing you wish your parents understood about being a teenager today?
Um, how even though like us teenagers, like a lot of, especially me, like we have a lot of privileges. Like not everything's always perfect with us, and that how we're not always like we're not always how we come off to be, and how there's that, even though we have a lot of things handed to us and stuff, there's we're not always gonna be perfectly happy or content.
What had stayed with you from this conversation?
Um, I just think what has stayed with me, well, like the ability to talk to someone about what it's like to be a teenager, and especially to someone that I can confide in and someone I trust. So yeah, I mean, I've come away with, I mean, learning some stuff about myself as well. So, hmm.
Such as
Excuse me.
something you've learned about yourself, like one example?
Well, I mean, like my phone. I think I've learned a little bit about like how I truly feel, and yeah, and how I come out of this podcast more as a more educated, more in touch with myself than I was before.
Got it. Okay, Nico, we're going to do one last thing and then you'll be off the hook, okay? This is a
Mm-hmm.
rapid fire quiz,
Okay.
okay? It's a short, fun quiz, no thinking too much. Just give me the one word, if possible,
Mm-hmm.
that comes to mind in response to each one of the 15 questions that I have, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Ready.
One word that describes school most days.
Excitement.
One word adults use too much.
Expectations.
One thing that instantly improves your mood.
Football.
One thing that instantly drains it.
Math.
Night owl or morning person.
Night owl.
Silence or music.
Silence.
Plan every detail or wing it.
Plan every detail.
Big crowd or small hangout.
Small hangout.
One thing you are proud of doing recently.
Self-growth.
One value or quality you admire in others.
Loyalty.
One place you would teleport to right now.
The White House.
One thing you are better at than people think.
The ability to understand emotions.
One thing adults misunderstand about teenagers.
What's going on in our mind?
One word to describe yourself today.
Reborn.
Nico, thank you so much for doing this with me. Now it's time to speak with Claudia, Nico's mom. She listened to our conversation and will reflect on it with me. Hi, Claudia. Thank you for doing this with me today.
You're welcome, Javier.
Good. So you just listened to the conversation that I had with your teenager, Nico. And I want you to know that the conversation we're going to have now, it's not about correcting anything or explaining yourself, and not even about parenting. It's just simply a space to notice and to share with me what stayed with you and what you might be changing based on what you heard. So with that, I wanted to start with a first question, and which is, what is the first thing that stayed with you out of the conversation that I had with Nico?
Probably the most important thing that I listened and that I thought that was really good to hear that is that he, at one point, he says that that us as parents would always suffer for them. So meaning that, yeah, I would go through anything that painful in order that my kids wouldn't have to go through that, right? So any situation that makes Nico sad or uncomfortable, I would always, I would like to be in, do that for him. So and I like the idea that he knows we as parents, me as a mom, that we're willing to do that, because I really think that it's very good to hear from him that he knows he's my priority.
Got it. Understood. Was there anything that Nico said that surprised you?
Surprised me, like in a good way, or yeah, there's one thing he said that at one point he says that something like that mental health in men have been disregarded in the past, in the past, or that they don't pay attention to men mental health as much as they do to
Correct.
women, which is surprising to me because I would have never thought of that. I mean, me as a woman, I never thought of that. Maybe him because he's a boy and he feels that he cannot express his feelings as much as a woman, and maybe that's. It's there's no right or wrong, right? That's how he feels about it. It's just surprising because I have boys and a girl, and I've always educated or the same way in that regard,
Yeah.
right?
Got it. And was there something that you already knew, but the way Nico said it landed differently with you?
So yeah, there's this thing that I know I know he's always been, I don't know, jealous about the way. So he's always, I think he feels mistreated by us, um, compared to his siblings. He always thinks that we are more, I don't know, compassionate or more, um, or have more patience, or that we trust more our other children than him. And like, to me, I know he feels that way, and it's like, yeah, whatever, same thing as always, right? But maybe now listening it from a different perspective, because he's not telling me that, right? Or he's not snapping about that or complaining about that. He's just ex- explaining how he feels about that. And, he, I mean, again, it's not true or false. It's not right or wrong. Those are feelings and the way you feel. So, yeah,
So did it? So
that would be
I'm
it.
guessing that is not the first time that you hear something like that, in terms of him feeling that sometimes you are
Yeah.
not fair with him,
To,
right? Versus his siblings.
yeah.
The the fact that you heard that, did it sit differently with you this time?
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. I know he's always, for years now, complaining about that. But when he says that, he said it from a place of
Uh-huh.
anger, or um you know yeah, anger normally. So the way I receive it is not as now, listening it from a different scenario, that it is
Yeah, I
different.
see what you mean. You are not, in a way, what I'm hearing is that you are not reacting to it. You're just embracing what he's saying this time, right? Got
Yes,
it.
exactly. Yeah.
Good. Did you notice any gaps between how you think things are going and how he experiences them?
No, I think what I heard, it's pretty aligned as to what I see um of him at home. Yeah, I was not, I think it's pretty much very
Got
aligned.
it.
Yeah.
And did anything feel uncomfortable to hear?
No, not uncomfortable, no. Maybe a little sad, like when, again, about this thing about how he feels that we don't trust him, or he would like to feel that he's more responsible for us, right, to us. And yeah, I would love for him to to feel that we think he's responsible, that we can trust him. Yeah, I would like that. I would like to hear. I would like for him to feel
And
that
do you
way.
think that it's fair for him to feel that way?
I mean, again, it's all the same, right? I can't um not give credit to that because it's the way he feels, and maybe I think it has no reasoning for that because, in my opinion, I would never treat him less compared to his siblings because obviously I love all of them and I want all of them to feel loved and safe and trusted and but if he feels that way, it's probably something I'm not doing well.
Um, did anything did anything make you pause or rethink something that you take for granted?
Well, yeah, he at one point he also says that he feels at ease and safe around us, his parents, and that would be something that you would expect from every child, right? Um, in a perfect world, um, but the fact that he's saying that he states that I think he even said that it's when he feels more safe and at ease is when he's around us, or that we make him feel that way when he's distraught or not sad or whatever. And that is, that is something beautiful to listen to hear from him, and yeah, and makes me pause and think, okay, maybe we're doing something well here.
Got it. And were there any moments where you felt or thought, I didn't know he carried that feeling or that thought?
There's actually something he talks about, but he doesn't give any details. And I'm assuming it's something I should know. I really don't know what he was talking about or referring to. And I would love to know more. But I think he talks about an incident that made him, right? Not be, that didn't, that something that happened that made him feel or be sad or angry
Yeah.
or I don't know. I don't know. Really, I don't know what it
Yeah.
is. And I probably should ask him. I mean, if I had to ask him something, right, I would say, okay, would you like to share that with us, with
Yeah.
me, or is it something that you want to keep to yourself, and which is fine.
Yeah,
But
he references something from, I think he says something about last year, some situation last year. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
last year, exactly. I have no clue what that, I mean, of course things happen, but there's really nothing that I could, identify as
Yeah.
that thing.
Got it. Is there anything you as a mom uh, see differently right now, after having heard to the 2-hour discussion with him? Is
Say
there
it again,
anything
sorry?
that you see differently as a mom about him or the way you relate to him after having heard to the conversation?
I mean, uh, so I've obviously I've known him for 16 years now, and I see him every day, and I talk to him every day. But it is funny, the strange, the this conversation you had with him. I was, listening from a different point or perspective or place, right? And I really saw it's someone different from my son, like almost a grown up. And I've never considered him that. Like, to me, he's my child, and he's not a little boy, but almost. And maybe it's because I've never had long conversations with him, because they don't tend to talk much during these teenage years. But I know 2 hours of listening to him was like, wow. I mean, he's someone that I barely know.
In a way, right?
Strange. Yeah, in a way. Huh.
It's so what I'm hearing is that you were able to listen to him in a completely different context and in a different capacity. So, and that led to a different experience when listening to him, right?
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. And like almost like a dissociation of who Nico is, my Nico is, and this Nico
Exactly.
is.
That's good. Thank you for sharing that insight. And so after having experienced him in such a different way, as you said earlier, do you think you're going to approach his behavior, his reactions in a different way going forward?
So I do think now that it is very important to him to to be seen, to be trusted by me, and that is something that I'm going to try to work on more, right? To be, maybe stop or not snapping at him as much, and trying and give him the confidence to be more responsible, because maybe he's not responsible enough, not only because, well, what I would expect from him to be responsible is not because he's not it, but because I'm not driving him to that somehow. So maybe if he feels that I trust him, maybe he will become more
I
responsible,
see.
right?
How so hearing him say that he would like to feel more trusted, as he said, how does that make you feel? Because you keep coming back to that to that statement of his. So how does it make you feel? What's the first word that comes to mind?
Well, frustration. Yeah. Frustration, because it's clearly something that I'm not doing. I'm not giving that to him, and maybe he needs that trust to it's like the first stone, right? In a house, the foundation. Maybe if he has that trust, he will. And if he's not getting that from me, well, somehow I'm failing as a not failing, or something that I have to work on too. I think I've always educated in, to me, the most important thing is love, be kind, be generous, right? And that's what I try to, those are my values, and those are the values I try to teach them. But maybe also, trust is a big value as well that maybe I should work
Got it.
more on. Yeah.
And in that same vein or line of thought, does anything of what you heard, does it change, or does it change what you think he needs from you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Change. I mean, I think I was happy with what I've heard. I mean, he didn't have many complaints, right? I don't know. I think he was, he's happy with the way, we are with him. I am with him. So, I mean, I would love to hear from him. Like, you know, yeah, that's something I would like to hear from him to say, so mom, I would need this more from you, this less from you.
Got it.
So I could, yeah,
And
help him.
why do you think you haven't had that conversation with him?
I mean, there's several reasons. First, teenagers, they don't like to talk much. I mean, it's never a good time. Or he's tired, or he has homework, or he has sports, or there's always a good reason not for him not to sit, next to me and have a conversation. Even in the car, many times when I drive him to places, I always, I always think, oh, this is a nice moment that we have. 15 minutes would be nice to have a conversation, right? He's always on his phone. And I always say, hi, hey, why don't we have a little chat? Okay, so he flips his phone, he starts talking, and I don't know, 1 minute in, he flips it over again. So that's one thing, in my opinion, right? That these teenage years aren't easy. And then, yeah, I think that would be it. Maybe because I do have time for him. Yeah, I've never actually, asked him, what do you need from me? Maybe that's a good question I could,
Ask him.
for me to ask him.
Speaking of
Yeah.
phone time and phone consumption, that's one of the spaces that we covered in the conversation. And if I'm not wrong, he talks about one of the learnings from the conversation was that he verbalized how much time he spends on the phone as something that he'd like to maybe revisit. So
Do you think so? Because I don't know. If I'm not wrong, I think he didn't take much. He didn't own much the time he really spent on. I mean, I think at one point he said something like 2 hours a
he
day,
said, I think he said, I'm not sure, but
and that's completely. I mean, I'm sure
yeah,
there's a
the
way
screen time.
to check that, right? The screen time. That's so not true. I mean, 2 hours. Come on, that's a complete. But I don't say he's lying. I'm just saying he's not
Aware,
even
conscious. Yeah.
accountable. Yeah, conscious of
I
that.
see what you mean. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Good. So, did anything? So, what you heard, generally speaking, did it confirm what you already believed about him?
Yes. Yeah. Totally. Yes. I mean, I see that I know he's very. I mean, social. I mean, well, he loves his friends. I know he cares a lot about his friends, and I could see. At one point he says something like, if you're going through a rough time, just be around people that you like, or that you, something like that, meaning, clearly his friends, and that and that's the way he is. He's always, I think he's a really good friend. And yeah.
And did you learn anything that changes? Yeah.
Oh, and sorry, yeah, and there's another thing, that he very sentence. He says, "You do you," right? He says, "You do you," like, and that's I loved to hear that, because that's has been one of my mantras, like, always, right? It's, you don't care what other people do. You do your own thing, and you do you. And I was, I don't know, I was surprised, not surprised, but I was happy to hear that, to listen that he believes in that as well.
What do you think he means he exactly means by that?
Well, what I think of that is, like, you do your own thing. You don't care about what others do or say or think. And it's like, there's like, in Spanish is vive y deja vivir. I don't know, how would you translate that? Like, just live and
Yeah.
let others live, right? So you do you, to me, it would be that,
Got
right?
it.
Just care, care about yourself. Do not care about others.
And do you now have a different expectation of him?
I mean, my only expectation for him is that he's a good person, and that he's a good person. That would be the only thing I expect from him. Or the most important thing I would expect from him, and that's what and that was before and after the listening to the conversation.
And I want to go back for a second to your comment on.
And I don't want him to think that I have expectations from, because what if he feels he can't get, there are obligations, right? You have to go to school, you need to, do the best you can. Try your best always. But it's not like an expectation. Expectation, I think it's a very strong word that can lead to frustration, failure,
Pressure.
my pressure. My only expectation, again, is, you need to be a good human being, and care for others and be kind. And and that's that.
Got it. I was saying that I wanted to go back to your comment regarding the Nico that you saw in the conversation versus the Nico that lives in your head and in your heart, right? Right, your baby, and
Mm-hmm.
how are you gonna see him going forward? As the adult that you just saw, or as the kid that lives in your heart?
He's always going to be my baby boy for sure. But that's not going to change. No matter how old he is, how many things in life happen to him, he's always going to be my baby. But yeah, I saw a different Nico, and I think I should pay more attention to that new person, because he's someone. He's obviously not a little boy anymore, and maybe I wasn't aware of that. and I should be, treating him more like a young adult than not a big boy. And seeing him more and listening to him more, and having more conversations with him to get to know him better, because I was impressed of, I don't know, his, how do you say, the way he was able to express
Articulate.
himself, his articulate, how do you say it, something, thought of the
His train of thought. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Much more mature than what I know.
That's very interesting. I was going to ask you, and this is very, very connected to what you just said. Do you feel right now, more relaxed after listening, or more unsure?
100% relaxed. Yeah.
Bit.
Yeah, I'm happy of, I'm even proud of what I've seen. Seeing this man, I don't know. Yeah.
And have you seen in him any of the fears that you have as an adult?
No, no, not at all. I mean, I don't think he spoke about fears at all,
No,
right?
really, they didn't. Nothing particularly fear related came up. Do you
No, no,
do you
no.
deliberately protect him from your fears?
No, no. I mean, I wouldn't be able to. I mean, I do have a fear for him, which is, I'm very scared of um mental health, right? I'm very scared of the possibility of my kids going through, depression or anxiety, or um I'm very, very scared of that, because I think it's a very, very lonely state. And and as a mom, it's very, you have to feel super hopeless and lonely as well, to see that, they're, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you know I mean, that's my fear for sure. But I try to talk to him a lot about that. I mean, a lot, not a lot, but like, if you ever feel this or that, it's okay, it's normal, there's no right, there's no wrong, you know, um and we always have to talk about it. We always can get help. Doesn't mean you are not strong enough, doesn't mean you're weak. um Everything is okay, will be okay, and you just need to, you know to be aware of that, and especially in this world, right, with all this social media and all those, this, mm, I mean, the crazy world. And you have to be, I think, protective about that, or at least, be aware that mental health is a thing these days, much more than they used to be. And again, not only for women, men, and everyone.
and we touched on mental health. What's your take on what he said about mental health and um, how to go about when he or his friends have mental health issues? We talked a little bit about that. Any takeaways?
No, I think they are conscious that that's an important thing, and that is, if you do have some issues, doesn't mean you are crazy, right? It's something that hadn't happened to anyone. But again, I don't think thank God, faced any of those symptoms or scary feelings. Uh, he hasn't experienced them. I mean, I think he hasn't experienced them, nor no one from his how to say, from his circle, right? So I don't think he really knows how important, not important, how bad that could be. Or I don't think he thinks that would be like a something that could happen to him, which is okay, but
Got it.
yeah. Sorry, I don't think he knows how fragile human beings are. Anyone,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what feels really hard to let go of as a mom?
So to me, the most what makes me most frustrated, angry, is the um, selfishness of our children. Yeah, I know, it's almost their duty to be selfish, and especially when they're little. But as they grow up, you would expect, and again, expect is not a verb I want to use, but um, you would expect for them to be more empathetic, about your needs as a mom. If you say 5 times you want, you don't want this, like that, why do they keep doing it, right? Are they trying to make us more angry, or I don't know? So that thing, because they're selfish little people, it's something that I have a hard time like letting go, because I know it's part of
Childhood.
children to be like that, right? But it's something that childhood, and even and teenage, even more, I think, when they get older. I mean, during teenage years, like, they don't care about anything but them, and can be frustrating, right?
What do you do with Nico to try to make him less selfish or self-orientated?
Self-centered. I probably do it all wrong. So I don't know. I know I yell a lot, and then, it's like, okay, I don't think I do a good job with that, because it's really something that I don't see any result, right? I don't see any improvement. I don't see that he cares about how it makes me feel to see his room like it is every single day. I don't think he really cares. Or, I mean, cares. I don't think
He can live
yeah,
he
we're on
can live with
different
that.
levels. Yeah, and he cannot, and he can't not emphasize, how to say, empathize with me, because it's something that's zero important for him. So there's no way we can be on the same
Pa- Page.
plano. Page,
Was
yeah.
was your room the same way when you were 16?
I can remember, but I'm probably not. No, I don't think so. I mean, in my house, there were way more strict um, rules than in my house now. And I was an only child also, which is different. But no, no.
So do you think that your generation was treated with a lot more strictness than how you are treating your kids now?
Yes, I do think that it was much more strict back then than now. But not only in my house, I think in everyone's house, right? Um, there's no such thing like I don't know. Before it was hierarchy, right? So parents go first, parents go second, parents go third,
Mhm.
and now it's maybe the opposite way. It's completely the opposite way, right? It's children go first and second and third and fourth, and which is great because I think it's much more. I mean, we have relationships with our children way more effective, way more natural, and equal to equal, which we are. However, of course, I do believe rules are needed, and um, authority is needed as well. But always with respect, always with um, common
And
sense,
and do you
basically.
regret not
Yeah.
having been more strict?
No, it's not a regret. I mean, I think my children are well behaved, which is, and they're good kids. They are they care about others. I think that the values that I value, my values, have been they don't need strictness, right, to be passed on. I think, but of course, there are things that I would like them to be, to tidy up their room, to be, of course, more um how to say
Yeah.
helpers at home, more obedient.
Mhm.
Yes, of course, and probably that, yeah, with more strictness, that would have been better achieved. But it's not like I do not regret. No.
And is there something that you after listening to the whole conversation, is there something that you would want to listen more about from Nico? Maybe you said it earlier when you said that maybe I'll ask him what he needs more of me, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. So yeah, so my question for him would be, how can I help you to be better? That I would love to know. I don't think he even knows because it's a very hard question to answer, actually. I would not know how to respond to that if you know, my if anyone asked me. But yes, so my goal in life is to help my children, right? To make him better people, better human beings, and anything I can, that they need, I would love to know so I could just give it to them, or at least try.
And is there something you want to stop pushing for?
No, I'm actually not. I'm a very laid back person. I don't push them at all. Maybe on the contrary, I would like to be a little bit more pushy sometimes.
Give me one
You
example
know,
of an area that you are not pushy enough in your view.
well, you know that. Well, I'm not pushy with their discipline. You know, they always come to me when, something they are supposed to do this, but something comes up. And of course, they know I will say, yeah, that's fine. So, yeah, no, I would like to be maybe more, yeah,
And what
pushy on
got it.
obligations.
And what feels more important now than it did before you listened to these 2 hours?
Like what? What do you mean by important?
Is there anything that you're gonna stress or emphasize or pay more attention to going forward after having listened to the 2 hours?
Yeah, I would like to have more conversations with him because I see he can have
Mhm.
them. he, he he can be 2 hours talking about stuff, and I know he has many things to say. He likes to talk. I, as what I saw. It's not that hard. I mean, I just need, maybe this space. Maybe that car driving him is not a good space. Maybe I remember doing that, and it's been a while since I've done it. But I've always um uh, liked, believed in educating differently to your children, right? Because not all of them have the same needs, and so I've always tried to give them like their space, special space with mom, special space with space time. I
Mhm.
mean, with mom, with dad. So since they've been very young, I've always done this. So taking, this one to, I don't know, this shop he or she likes, or to this restaurant he or she likes, or to watch this movie on, one on one, right? So they have their attention, full attention from me. And it's true that since they've grown, I did this a lot when they were younger, but now maybe it's been a while since with Nico, for instance, I've shared like I don't know, a date. I mean, a date like an going out for dinner, or I don't know, out, going to the movies, or doing something just us alone. So maybe I should revisit this, and it's because it's even more important now that when they were
What
younger.
did Nico's special time with mom look like?
So a lot of movies. He's always been very keen on watching movies. Um, yeah, many movies. That's what we used to do. No, more things. Yeah, when we lived in the U.S., I don't know, taking him to this Chuck E. Cheese place, like where they had all this. How do you say the
Arcade?
um, well, this gay arcade? Yes, this arcade. Yeah, yeah.
Good. And we're getting to the end, Claudia. A couple of more things, and then I have a quiz for you, rapid fire quiz.
Okay.
So if Nico or when Nico listens to this conversation in 10 years from now, uh, what would you want him to understand in terms of how seriously you took him?
Well, I would like him to, to be, to be positive. That I thought he was a wonderful 16, handsome, smart, and lovely 16-year-old boy man, and that I do think that he has great things to do. Again, not expectations, whatever he wants to do in life. But I'm always gonna be supporting him, and hopefully, by him watching him do life with me in it.
And did you miss any questions in that 2-hour conversation that you would have wanted me to ask?
To
Him.
ask me or him? Him. Yeah, I would like to know. So I would like to ask him, what would have he told his younger self, Nico, when he was 10 years ago, when he was 5 or 6 years old, what he would tell him about, life. Yeah, what would he tell his younger self? What would he had told his younger self
About
him? Just about what's
anything else that I...
or
Oh, go ahead.
no, I was listening.
I was saying anything else, any other
Um,
questions that you missed? Or that I missed?
Well, it's very generic, but like, what is your dream? It's super broad, but
Got it. Note
yeah.
well taken. What would you want to tell him?
Well, I keep that to myself and
Nice.
him.
How are you feeling now compared to before you started listening?
Before I started listening to his conversation, right? I don't know. It's a little, how do you say, self, like, I've done a good job. I know it's a little, but I do feel that I'm proud, yeah, of what I see.
Good. Let's close with this quiz. No right answers, just first instinct. Okay. Good. It's 10 questions.
Okay.
Number 1 is listening or talking,
Listening,
asking questions or giving space,
giving space,
holding on or letting go,
that's tough. Letting go,
reassuring or trusting,
trusting,
being close or staying available,
close.
explaining or accepting.
Oh, sorry, being closed, like
No.
closed in the past
Close
tense.
in present. Noun, yeah.
Close
being
to.
close.
Okay. Vale.
Explaining or accepting,
Accepting,
steady presence or active guidance,
I don't know. Steady presence,
small moments or big talks,
small moments,
protecting or preparing?
Preparing. Although I tend to protect. Yeah.
One word for how you want to show up after hearing your teen.
Present.
Good. Claudia, thank you for taking the time to listen and really listen and share your thoughts and your perspective. This isn't about agreement or solutions. It's about keeping this conversation open, even when it's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And that matters much more than getting it right. Thank you again.
It does. Thank to you, Javier. Thanks.
Everybody else, I just hope that something in this conversation stayed with you. This is the Teen Translation Project.